Welcome to the 15th episode of Indie and Music Industry World. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Vayne. Hello. Hi there.
Hey, there you go, man.
I'm good,
Can can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to have you on my podcast because you're incredible. Your music,
Thank you, man.
your music rocks. You know,
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
I was speechless when I started to listen to your music. Okay, you will have an incredible career. So congrats so much. Congrats
Yeah,
so
thanks, man.
much.
No, thanks for having me on. It's you're a bit of a legend yourself, man. So it's cool. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
your
we
channel.
got the we got the
Happy to
same
have you. And
roots.
you're in Milan.
Yeah, Milan, but I'm from
You're in
Puglia, like
Milan.
you. My family's from
You're from
Brindisi.
Puglia, where my father's from. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
from
You
Brindisi,
know,
mate. From Brindisi.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like me. How much Italy has inspired you in your music? That's a that's the question, because you got Italian roots.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far. I've got a full feature in June's Rock Hard Italy, full page.
Yeah.
So it's it's going good, and that's where it's funny because I didn't plan anything with the Italian thing, but I think it's just a natural thing where I said, you know what, I think in Italy that's my predominant place. I really want people to hear
Yeah,
the album.
and I think that you
That's
can
where my blood is. That's where my fun.
yeah, you can bring here just like a new sound, and bring back the real music because in this time, music is changing so much here too, and maybe you will bring
Electronic.
something. Yeah, you will bring something cool. Have you just planned to travel here to as a tour, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm actually currently looking for an agent at the moment in Italy. I think my press management with Valeria. We spoke to Valeria. She's amazing, and she's also in Puglia, which is Puglia. There's
Yeah,
amazing.
Brindisi.
Everything's happening in Puglia all of a sudden. It's like, what are the chances of that, And so yeah, I'm currently looking for an agent to do that. So that's the hard part, being in Australia. Even though I'm based in London, really, I go to and from London.
Yeah.
I think most of the touring is going to be done in Europe, and cross fingers, mate.
Yeah, you will happen for sure.
India.
Did you expected all this success from the UK too? As you travel there and you perform there a lot with as a frontman with for a lot of band, did you expected this all this success from there?
Yeah, well, I've been in a lot of bands, but I've never released my stuff. So it goes back to a long story when I was little, and a broken family. And then, in Italian families, it's very rare to have broken families. And the only thing that they couldn't take away from me at that time was my music. So I kept it to myself. And it wasn't until I actually started a family and I had my daughter, and the way she looked at me, and I thought, oh my God, this is not about me anymore. It's all about her. Right? And that changed me forever. I actually left the music industry. And then and my children inspired me in 2018 to do it all again. And I flew to Texas during the COVID period and recorded all the tracks there in Texas with a Grammy Award-winning producer. And the good thing about that, they're like Italians, Texans, man. They just eat. Eat and eat and eat. And I was there for like, when are we going to record? It's like, oh no, we've got to have some shrimp. Oh no, we're going to go have dinner. Oh, we're going to have this. And it's like midnight. He takes me in the studio and he says, what, you want me to sing it?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. You traveled a lot for record the album. How was it just like? How did you start to record the tracks? And to find the right direction of the sound of the album.
Very, very good. The most hardest thing. The most hardest thing is I hear the whole thing in my head. Okay, I don't sit down and go, I'm going to write a song today. I've never done that since I was 11 years old. I hear the whole thing in my head. And the hardest part is I didn't want anybody to change it too much. If anything, I wanted to improve it and make it better. So I met up with him because he's got an analog desk, and he uses the same desk that was used in Star Wars, the original Star Wars movie. And it was very analog, and it was very pure, and his studio was very, it was a spiritual place, man. And every musician that played on this album, I wanted to play an instrument. I didn't want any robots, robots.
Yeah.
And I needed the right people. I played with the guitar, of course. There was also Craig, a guitar player from LA, that played a little bit of guitar for me too. But essentially, the musicians that I needed were had to have a lot of feel, had to understand the direction I was going. And then, funny enough, I got back to Australia and I wanted to modernise it. It's good to have that, because I sound very naturally 70s, early 80s, naturally, in everything I write. So I just wanted that modern touch. So Simon Cohen in Sydney, who's Grammy Award nominee for Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's different, right? That's what I need. That's it. And then what he did is he didn't do too much. He did enough. And I think that's the chemistry that is what you're looking for, is that someone that hears what you hear and doesn't try and turn into Dr. Frankenstein, create his own monster. He improved. He heard what I heard, and I think that's really important. It was an amazing journey.
Yeah. Was it hard to recreate the real sound when you recorded the album? Just like to bring, maybe that kind of live sound in the track, when you record
another
it.
thing because that comes natural to me, and I think that's because I do different things differently than probably most singers. I went into the studio and this person come out into the studio with this big tray of tea. There was peppermint tea, strawberry tea, every tea on the planet. And he says, "Oh, do you want to do some yoga or something before you start?" And it's like, no, just give me some whiskey. Just give me some honey whiskey and I'm good, man. So I had coffee.
Totally.
In my coffee, because I thought it's still too strong, right? So I'm thinking, he's going, "How are you going to sing?" And I said, "Well, it's either going to be really bad or really good, right?" But I feel good. So I just went in there and sung. And I think that live thing is natural to me, more so than the congested music studio. And I wanted it to sound a little bit, I wanted to have that energy. And I think a lot of the 70s bands had that energy in the studio. And I think you take that energy, like Kiss, for instance.
Yeah, that's what I feel. Because, when you listen to the album, you say, okay, that seems like a real studio album. It seems like a live. You bring me that kind of a magic sound of a live show. The process
that's what I wanted to bring.
Yeah.
What I wanted to bring. And you know what? That comes naturally. It wasn't something that I was forced to bring. It was just something that happened with the energy of the songs and the energy and what I wanted when I performed them in the studio. It just had that live energy about it, and I think that's where producers are important. We're finding the right producer that understands where you're coming from, where you want to take it, and I was very blessed to have be working with two very, very good producers like that, and the mastering engineer as well. Like, it's all about the mastering engineer. Well, Steve Smart, he mastered everybody from Bob Dylan through to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he did my vinyl master, and he's the same. He wanted to make that. He wanted to bring that. They totally understood where my music come from, so they wanted to bring that energy with it. And when you listen to the album now, it does sound very live, but you know what? You can multiply that by 100 when it's live.
Yeah.
It's going to rock and live, I can tell you that.
That's all, and it's absolutely cool. When it came through in the right moment, when you said, okay, that's the right moment, I gotta record my own track. and I want to be only just like a frontman of a band, but I want my own stuff, you know, and just like start
Yeah.
to record my first solo album.
Yeah. Look, my brother is a drummer, very talented drummer, who I grew up with. And we caused a lot of trouble with neighbours since we were like 8 years old. He'd been bugging me for like 20 years to release my stuff, and I just didn't think it was time. I think I was caught between the grunge era and the classic rock era ending, you know, when Guns N' Roses were kind of like really starting to, you know, with a big thing, and then grunge. You know, I didn't see myself in that era. I thought, you know, this is a good time for me to maybe start a family, because I thought it would be nice to have little Marios, you know, little Marias, and I did. And I enjoyed that journey, and it made me a better person, it made me a better writer. It brought me back to the joy of music again, being a father, because you don't experience true unconditional love until you're a dad. You know, I thought I had, but nah, there's nothing like that. And I understood then how my father felt, my mother felt when I was little, and I was causing all sorts of trouble, man. And I could understand them as a father, that, you know, and that's where the moment come into it, where I think every moment in this album,
Title track of the album,
is the track, is the diary of a heart. Is like at my lowest point, and then you got the flip side, which is timeless, which, you know, it's the bad times and the good times of the past that have made you into the person you are today, that have created this album in the first place. Without that pain, there's no passion, man.
Yeah. Which is the first track you wrote of the album?
After the Rain.
After the Rain.
After the Rain, my mother, this whole thing started when my mother, she was sick in hospital. She'd been having a lot of trouble with something that was over 15 years, and the doctor told her she had like 4 months to live, but she lasted another 17 years, because, you know, she thought, who are you, God? You know, Sicilian mums, man. So who are you, God? God tells me when I'm going to die, not you, man. You're a freaking doctor, right? I'm going to drink my wine, I'm going to cook, I'm going to be happy, and I'll die when I die. Anyway, 17 years later, she's in hospital and she's having a hard time, and I was going through a real bad time in my life where I lost a lot. And I was all alone, and she rang me and she says, I'm getting out of hospital. I'll see you on Saturday, you know, just the normal thing. And I said, yeah, okay, mate, because she was worried about me burning down my apartment, because I get distracted with my guitar, and so many times my apartment rolls smoke and alarms and shit. So I went over there, and then so the next day, my sister-in-law called up and said, your mother's passed away. And you're never prepared for that. You're not prepared for that. You think you're prepared for that. You're not. And the last thing she says to me is you go write your songs. So
keep on for this.
I went and wrote some songs, man, and then I spent 6-7 months like hibernated like a bear in the studio, and I was just doing things, and weird things influenced me, and I think that's where it started, when my mother inspired me to get it done after all that time.
Yeah. And they are proud of you and your incredible work.
Oh yeah, they're still there, all right. I mean, they're watching over me now, man. There's no way in the world that's too much of a coincidence, you know, that everything's happening in Puglia at the moment, and in Italy, because my dad said before he left last year, he said,
Yeah.
I went, okay, Dad, all right, it's all good. You know, it's all good. He goes, the industry.
It was his last word, you know. So you have to come here for a show and a tour.
Well, it's all happening in Brindisi, and it's all happening in Puglia, mate.
Yeah, I think so. That's gotta happen there. How was the decision of your first single? How did you decide that okay, that's gotta be my first single of the album?
Yeah, I wanted something a little bit. That was the first one I hadn't had the album recorded, and that was the second song I wrote I'd written. It was the second song, and that was the only song I didn't do a demo of. So I went to Texas, showed him all the stuff, and he says, "Oh, mate, we've got to record, we've got to start all this." And then I was just strumming Baby. And he says, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, it's a song on the album, but I haven't done a demo." And he says, "Play it for me." And I played it for him. He says, "Damn, that's going down now. We're gonna release that first."
Yeah.
So that was the first song that got released, and so I was doing single and a single, and then I decided, no, I really need to record the full album. I think it's the single and single and single thing. For me, I just need to record the album and get out there, because then I can be free. You know, when I play live, I feel free. When I'm in the studio, I feel restricted. You know, very restricted to what you have to do. And I'm so happy that the album's got that live feel.
Yeah. So, how was it hard to create just like the concept video of the track? Because I feel that the videos represents all the track, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it wasn't just like a hard process to have the right idea of the video for the song.
For Baby.
Yeah.
That was funny, because you know what I did first? Originally, well, that's going to come out soon, you know, David. Originally, it was my Harley Davidson. And I rode my Harley Davidson all the way down the Gold Coast in rain, and oh man, 3 days of filming on my Harley Davidson. And this dude he didn't ride, but I was doing like cameo, you know, didn't sort of in the Harley, because basically what it was at first, it was like he went around the corner, he seen a Harley Davidson, but really it was a scooter. It was like Shallow Hal movie, you know, a bit like what you see is not what it is. But then after 3 days of filming, the movie director called me and he said, "We're not using the Harley." I said, "What?"
That was cool.
3 days, and then he doesn't need the Harley. Have a look. So we're watching this thing, and it's like, no, he doesn't need the Harley. He had his Harley tattooed. That was his Harley. And he found the girl that, you know what, he got the girl that thought exactly the same way he did. You know, it's nothing to do with what it is, or it's what's inside, and it's like where your heart is. And I think that's it's a good story, and it's a good message, that one. It turned out to be really good, yeah. It was funny. It was fun doing that one.
You have to shoot your next video in Puglia on Brindisi. You gotta be cool, because it's a cool place.
Yeah. Which song you reckon?
For me, the next single.
Yeah, in Italy. Say I did one in Italy, right? I did a video clip in Italy. What would be the song you reckon I should release in Italy with the next video?
For me, I don't know, maybe Timeless.
You know, it's funny. Timeless has exploded. It's the last song on the album.
Yeah.
It's all about balance. People saying, "Why'd you put that at the end? Why'd you put that?" Well, I didn't want to be part of it, because I'm very biased for my songs. So I wanted my producer to maybe give it a try, and he got a good balance. And I thought, yeah, that's a good balance.
And that's
so
why you decided to close the album with that song. That's the
Timeless
inspiration.
It's one of those classic Timeless tunes.
And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And it's got that power, and it's got the passion. And I think you're right. If I was going to do one in Italy, and that's the song actually with Sorry Ain't Enough as well. Slightly behind it, but it's actually Timeless.
Sorry
Ain't
Enough, it's amazing. But I think that all the tracks can be played worldwide on all the radios, because you know.
Yeah, well, they asked me how many songs I wrote. They said, "You write 40 to get the best 10 like this," and I said, "No, I wrote 11."
How much it's hard to have the support of the radio as an independent artist.
Yeah,
that's a good point, because you know the market over right now works only with the major labels, you know, but indie can works more for me, you know, and it's hard to find the right support of the FMs.
Difficult. It's the hardest part, because music industry is so congested with the social media. So back in the day, music was first. People went in there, they listened to music, they liked the album, they bought the album, and then they went to see the band play live, right? It's very simple. Now, you have to do backflips, be a media tart, you know, juggle balls or something. And then afterwards, they want to hear your music. It's like, you have to be like a media circus now before they want to listen to your music. And then now with the algorithm, it's like a monster. He decides whatever this robot decides what music people be listening to. Depends how much money you spend. The more money you spend, the more the robot likes you, right? So it's very difficult to get your music out there when it's like this, because you have to fund yourself, you have to find an agent, you have to do. I've got my own record label. I released it on my own. I funded the whole thing. We sold our house, man, you know, to do this. So that's how much we believe in it, you know. And I 100% believe it. And so, you know, that's what you got to do. You got to believe. You got to take the leap of faith. You know, that's what the moment's about. That's the moment where you take that leap of faith, matter what.
I will help you on this because, you know, more than a podcast, I used to have contacts with radios, just like some labels too, so I can totally send all your stuff to a lot of people. So you got totally my support, which is the message. Which is the message, maybe the concept of moments, the message that you want to bring to the people.
Yeah, be what you want to be. Doesn't matter if you swim against the current. Be you. Don't be someone else. Everybody tries to follow the leader. It's better to go. I always said, you know, it's better to go in travel a road and going in the wrong direction when nobody's traveling, better than going the wrong way following everybody else. You know, because at the end of the day, it's not you, it's not your true self, and you're going to regret it. So you're better off being yourself. And this is me, you know. I've always sounded like this. It's not like I've gone in, you know, and I've said, I like that 70s song. I'm just going to sound like that or something. It's just the way I write, and it's just the way it is. So I was asked on the last one like this, so what direction are you going next? And I thought, what do you mean? Direction, you know what? North, south, east, what do you mean? He says, what direction? I said, the Mario Vayne direction, man. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
There's no direction. There's no fucking direction. There's one direction, and that's straight. You know? If I go off on the little tangents on these two roads here, it always leads back to that same road. Every time. Because you're not being yourself. And it's got to stay true to yourself is probably the biggest thing I could say about what I've done. Is that doesn't matter. People are in a hurry. And I think everybody has their time. And if you stick to your guns and be you and believe, it's one day. Doesn't matter when, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Whether that happens in a small way or a big way, it doesn't matter. At least, you know, you just got to stay true to yourself and follow your heart. Because if you don't follow your heart, there's nothing.
Exactly. That's what I think. So, will you start the tour from Australia or maybe from the UK?
I might be doing one show here down the Gold Coast. You know, where the video got done, I might be doing a VIP show down there. I think what I want and what I truly believe is my first show, I think it's going to be in Italy. I just feel it. I just feel my first show.
Yeah.
It has to be. Where, I'm taking the footsteps of my parents, and without them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I mean, my father was an opera singer.
And I'll be in the first row for sure, because I cannot wait to see you live, because your live experience gotta be amazing. You'll bring me back to that kind of music of a high level. So, and I cannot wait to see you live.
Well, I mean, opportunities. You know, my father had that. He was like a movie star, man. You know, and he had to. He was brought up in Italy when the Americans, you know, though he was little, and the whole family lived in one room, and the Americans were bombing Italy.
Everything will start from here.
Are in the one room, and there's bombs and shit, right? And then we think we got a part in this life. Oh, serious. you know.
You're
And then,
incredible. You got all my support for everything, you know. Thank you so much for having me and talking to me about Moment because it's a pure smash album. Congrats so much. You know,
yeah,
you
thank you,
totally
David.
got
I
my
appreciate
support
it, man.
from
It's,
promotion and everything.
yeah, well, spread it around, man. Spread the love around because the more people that hear it,
Absolutely.
the better. As I said, it's very difficult with the congestion. It's a lot of stuff that anybody can just put it on Spotify now, and people pay $10 a month and they can listen to anything. I mean, it's really difficult. You know, you need a lot of money. It's just it's very difficult for artists now. I mean, it's easier to with Spotify and everything like that, but the artists get nothing. You know, I think Baby got 300,000 streams in its first couple of weeks, and we got a check for $74. Now, back
Yeah.
in the day, if you sold 300,000 albums, you're doing okay, right?
You
So,
just wrote 3 albums, right? You will
sorry.
maybe will you just wrote more albums to records.
Yeah, I've written another 2 albums.
Oh,
I've
that's
got another
cool.
2 albums worth of material already written. It's I write all the time, man. You wait to hear the second one, but then don't worry about the second one. This one's I
Yeah.
want to rock. I want to rock the world, and I want to start an
I
industry.
just
So
wanna listen and I cannot wait.
yeah, good to see you. It'll be good to see you, man. And we can yeah, we can do more stuff when I'm over there. So I'm planning to get over there in the next 2 or 3 months anyway. So hopefully we can meet up for a cappuccino or an
Yeah.
espresso.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for our conversation and you're incredible. You got all my totally support, cause
Thank you,
you're
David. I
smash.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, I
Thank
feel the love, man. I feel the love,
yeah.
man. It's all yeah, yeah. You rock on and you keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you with that espresso in Italy, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much.